This lesson is on section 11-2, titled The Area of Triangles and Trapezoids. So in this lesson, we're going to be finding the area of a triangle, and all a triangle is it's a polygon that has 1, 2, 3 sides. And then a trapezoid is a quadrilateral. It has 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it has one pair of parallel sides. Okay, so that brings us to our first equation. So the area of a triangle, what we're going to do is we're going to take 1/2 times the base times the height. So we're going to look at, so for example, if I have a triangle right here is my base, okay, so right here is the base of the triangle, and then my height forms a 90-degree angle with the base, so my height is right there. So my first example says, okay, let's find the area. So I have to remember that an area of a triangle equals 1/2 the base times the height. Okay, so I'm going to write the equation as 1/2 times, well, my base is right here, so my base is 6, and because it doesn't have a unit, I'm just going to say it's just 6 units. And then my height forms my right angle with my base, so my height is 4. So I'm going to take 1/2 times 6 times 4, or I'm going to take 1/2 times 6 times 4 is 24, and 1/2 of 24 is 12 units. And I'm going to say that's units squared because area is always to the second power. So the area of my triangle right here is 12 units squared. I took 1/2 times my base times my height to find my final answer. So the next equation we're going to look at is the area of a trapezoid. Okay, this equation is a little trickier, but still not too difficult. I added some things to this equation. So instead of just 1/2 the base times the height, like we did for the triangle, I'm going to take 1/2 times my height, and then I'm going to multiply that by the sum of my two bases. So on a trapezoid, we have a base that's right here and a base right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add those bases together, so add the lengths of those together. Then we're going to multiply it by this height, okay, that's found right here. So we're going to call this base 1, we're going to call this base 2, and then we're going to multiply it by its height, and then times it by 1/2, or chop it in half. So let's do an example. So I'm going to say, okay, what's the area of this trapezoid? Alright, so let's remember the equation. We know that area equals 1/2 times my height, and then I'm going to multiply that by the sum of the bases. So base 1 plus base 2. Okay, so let's fill in this equation. So I'm going to say 1/2 times my height. Well, I'm going to look at, this right angle. The line that forms the right angle with my base is 4. So 1/2 times 4. And then I'm going to add my two bases. So I'm going to call this base 1, and it doesn't matter what base you call is which. So I'm going to say base 1 is 3, and then I'm going to say base 2 right here is 6. So I have 3 and 6 as my bases. So again, I'm just adding 6 plus 3. And I'm going to say 6 plus 3 is 9. I'm going to bring down everything that I haven't used. So I'm going to say 9 times 4 times 1/2. Okay, so let's make this easy. Let's say 4 times 9 is 36. And then 1/2 times 36, well, half of 36 is 18. And my units here was centimeters, so I'm going to say 18 centimeters, and area is always to the second power. So again, all I have to do to find the area of a trapezoid is I'm going to first add my two bases. So I added 6 plus 3 to make 9. So I got this, I did 6 plus 3 to make 9. And then I multiplied 9 by its height, which is 4. So 9 times 4 is 36. And then I took 36 and I chopped it in half to get my final answer of 18. So you're going to add the two bases, times it by the height, and then chop it in half. And that's how you'll find the area of a trapezoid. So again, don't let this formula right here be too intimidating to you. Add the bases, times by the height, and chop it in half. That's how you find the area of a trapezoid. And then in order to find the area of a triangle, again, you multiply the base times the height, and then you chop it in half. Again, chopping it in half is the same as timesing it by 1/2. And then that brings us to the end of the lesson. Thanks for watching.